Studio right now is Dr. Nathaniel Richmond, who teaches courses in comparative politics, international politics, and political ideologies. Oh, my, what a year for you. Huh?
Oh, yes. Well, it always is. But
at Utica College, of course.
Yes.
So, okay, so what do you think of this craziness?
I think it's absolutely amazing that the two most disliked people in the United States are the nominees of the two major parties.
It is unbelievable. I mean, in any other given year, there's no way Donald Trump could ever become president. In any other given year, I don't think Hillary could become president based on the hatred of these two candidates.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true. And no matter what anybody says about either of them, they have unshakable basis.
They do. So no matter what happens, like all of this stuff coming out about the women with Trump, all of the stuff coming out on WikiLeaks, it has not moved the base whatsoever.
No, I don't think so. I don't think anything can.
Yeah.
Trump was bragging about it during the primaries.
Go on Fifth Ave.
He could, right? Exactly.
Yeah. Shoot somebody.
Yeah, right. And
his numbers he might get a bump in the numbers.
His supporters wouldn't flinch a bit.
Yeah. So what does this say about us?
Well, I think it says many things, but one of them, I think a lot of people would say that our politics are broken, that the system is one in which it's deeply flawed. I think that overall only 9% of Americans chose Hillary and Trump combined. 91% of Americans, for 91% of Americans, these two characters were not their choice.
Yeah,
I think our politics are broken. I think we need to do something else.
And I kind of wonder what has caused it. So one would say maybe there's a divide between the very wealthy and everybody else, and that divide has caused the middle class especially to feel that we're stuck. A lot of social change. We had our first black president. All of a sudden now we're talking about gay issues, gay marriage, gender issues, bathrooms, and I think that there's an element here in the country that feels like they don't recognize their country anymore. I mean, what would you pin it on, or is it a combination of everything, including social media?
Well, I think social media is a big part of it, but also there's generational change. The generational change in an odd way because. The younger people, I think the millennials, are really pushing for these changes. They don't see the world the way that we do, people of our age, our generation, but they don't participate in politics as much either. So you have this kind of effect, I think, where the older people are hanging on to power, and they're the ones that vote, and they're the ones that pursue their interests, but the younger ones are pushing the agenda of change.
I have two boys in their early 20s. One is killing me because he says he won't vote. And again, was probably more of a Bernie Sanders supporter. And the other one is a Bernie Sanders supporter who's trying to figure out if he can vote for Hillary. It's an important group, but not just in my family. Like 50% of them are walking away, and maybe more, not even going to vote.
Yeah, I think that's true, and a lot of them are not going to vote. They're not going to participate. If their candidate isn't on the ballot, they're going to reject this philosophy of voting for the lesser of two evils.
Do you, talking to Dr. Nathaniel Richmond from Utica College, do you think, I worry about some of the things that are being tossed around. Like we've always been at a point where there's one side and the other side, and it's heated, and sometimes people, even in their own families, go back and forth and argue. This seems to be really magnified. But we've never had a candidate come out, and I don't want to go anti-Trump here, but we've never had a candidate come out and say the election is rigged. The only way I can lose is if they cheat. And really creating this, undermining the process that we have cherished for so many years.
Yeah, absolutely. It is unprecedented, as are so many things about this election cycle.
Yeah.
But you're right. We've never seen a candidate say the election is rigged unless I win. In which case it's not rigged.
Then it'll be fair.
Then it'll be fair. That's right.
Yeah.
We've never heard a candidate say, "I'm going to jail my opponent as soon as I'm elected."
Yeah. Poll just came out on that today. most people don't have a problem with that statement. In polling that came out today, I was very surprised by that.
That's shocking.
Yeah.
On the other side,
Because that, by the way, the significance of that. Explain the significance of that. It is so un-American to make that statement because that's what happens in third world countries. It's what happens in dictatorships.
Exactly.
That's the scary part of it, but
Right.
but people aren't seeing the significance of that.
Right. Well, a lot of people don't know about the politics of other countries.
Yeah. No.
Unfortunately, they don't know about the politics of this country very well either.
Not this year.
on the other side, just to be fair, in context, you're right.
I don't think he's talking about, and necessarily we are talking about Trump, but I think when you say this is crazy, it's crazy on both sides. This is just
absolutely
craziness.
Absolutely.
No, but just to the point you just made.
I fear these comments that are made because it undermines our process.
It's not like he's saying, though, it's me against you, and if I win, you're going to jail. I mean, there is, in context, she was under investigation by the FBI. Charges were possible. Can you ever remember a candidate being investigated like that leading up to a presidential election?
I can't think of one in recent times, but she's unprecedented in the number of investigations that have happened anyway. One of the interesting things about her is that from the very time that she was First Lady, they began investigating her, and she's been investigated for, 30 years now? They haven't been able to find anything to stick. So having been investigated so much, it's just it's going to be a problem. Even if she wins the day after she is sworn in, she's going to start a new investigation for something. Yeah,
right. It'll be the first president who actually goes to jail. Sorry, vice president's going to have to take over because I'll be in prison. Let's talk about. Okay, do you believe? Because I have to tell you, I try to be as fair as possible on this mess. I don't believe that the Russians are the ones that are hacking into the emails. You're an expert on in this field. Do you feel they are, and are they trying to manipulate? Is this stuff? I think it's a lot of rhetoric coming out, Hillary's camp is trying to scare everyone into thinking that, of course, if you vote for Trump, you're voting for Putin and Russia.
Yeah, that's a good point. There's so much information. Well, I don't know how good the information is about this, but everything that we can find out points to Russia. But with these kinds of events, it's not that difficult to frame a country, to frame an actor in this case, and say, make it look like they did it.
Right.
Of course, the government probably has information that's not accessible to us, in which they may have definitive proof.
Yeah.
The Russians may simply have been very clumsy in this case and left markers, telltale signs, and it may be obvious, but they're not sharing that information. They're just saying, take our word for it. Mm-hmm. But I haven't seen anything that persuades me or convinces me definitively.
Right, it's really Russia.
It's really Russia.
Us.
That's right.
Meanwhile, isn't Snowden in Russia right now?
He is.
So
he is.
It's easy to say we know this came from Russia. Well, yeah, because that's where Snowden is. And meanwhile, these kids who have grown up on computers are able to hack in. It's incredible that just when we say, all right, well, enough hacking, we're going to prevent this from happening. What's his name was hacked into the other day? Hillary's campaign manager.
Yeah, Podesta.
Podesta was hacked into the other day.
Right.
His Twitter account.
Right. Well, the National Security Agency was hacked into.
Yeah. This is a crazy, crazy time, and so much is web-based today. Okay. Who are we better off with as president when it comes to foreign relations, when it comes to Russia in particular? Can you answer that?
That's a great question. That's another one of these what ifs. I don't think we really know. Conventional wisdom tells us that we're better off with Hillary because she's more experienced in foreign policy. He seems to be a loose cannon, asking questions about, well, why can't we use nuclear weapons and things of that sort.
Yeah.
On the other hand, he does make a good point in his campaign, which is that it's probably in the United States' best interest to have more cooperation with Russia against ISIS.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty good point. I have to give it to him on that issue.
Sit tight. We'll come back. I want to carry over. Quick break at WIBX.